Howdy, y'all. My name is Steve Ernest. I'm your Western Lawman. I'm also one of the partners at and the director of litigation and bankruptcy at the Fortune Law Firm. Today I have an episode of Law and Lore. I'm hopeful that this will be instructive for you and illustrate a bit of what we do to help our clients and make situations that sometimes are about as disastrous as they could possibly be into the best result we can. In this example, we had a borrower who was suing our lender client, and the allegations were mostly nonsense. But the way you have to approach discovery in a lawsuit, that's when you are trying to figure out what the facts are from the perspective of the person who's suing you, is you have to take some depositions and you get them to tell you what it is they're complaining about. And you set a deposition, and the statute says that you only have to give people 15 days notice. You can set it whenever you want, and they have to show up to your office and answer your questions under oath with a court reporter. In practice, you have to give them a little bit more time. Their attorneys are always going to delay a little bit, but once you get a date settled, they'll usually show up. In this circumstance, when it was finally the day for the guy to show up, he called that morning and said he'd been involved in a car crash and he couldn't come. And so you have this room assembled with 5 or 6 attorneys and a court reporter, and everything's all set up, and the guy doesn't show. Well, all right, it's probably a lie. You know, people have been telling that story since they showed up at home late after their curfew when they were in high school. All right, fine, we'll give them a break on that one. We move it a couple of weeks down the road. In that one, the day before, his attorney gets in touch with us. At least we didn't have to assemble everyone. His attorney gets in touch with us and says, well, the guy has a dead relative and he's grieving and he's not going to be able to do it tomorrow. Oh my God, you probably just saw me roll my eyes. That's what we were doing in our office when you hear this one. Fine, we're going to do it in a few weeks after he's had time to grieve. A few weeks go by. At that point, the excuse the day before that his attorney gives us is his son is in the hospital and he can't possibly come because he's got to attend to his son. So another month goes by, we set another date. That time the attorney calls the day before and says, sorry, the deponent has the coronavirus, can't possibly provide a deposition today. So this is excuse number 4 in the stack. All of this time, we make him confirm it in email, and we're building our case because we're going to do what's called compel the deposition. That is, you get the judge involved, and you make the judge wag his finger at the deponent, the plaintiff, and tell him you have to absolutely show up. This is ridiculous. So 4 excuses down the road, we've got deposition number 5 set. The guy gets coronavirus again. I didn't know you could get it twice. He got it twice, and he didn't show up. We described that this is absurd and possibly medically improbable that he has the coronavirus twice in a month, but he did. So deposition number 6, we finally get all of the attorneys once again assembled. We get the court reporter. Everybody's ready for his testimony. The deponent himself, not his attorney, the deponent himself calls and says, I'm in front of the building, but I have a tall truck and it won't fit into the parking structure, and so I don't know if I'm going to be able to get in there. Finally, he did, and we took his deposition. All the while, we had filed this motion to compel so that the court required the plaintiff's attorney and the plaintiff, the borrower, to pay the attorney's fees for all of these 5 depositions that we'd sat at all of this time, and made an order, because judges don't really care when litigants aren't doing what the other litigants tell them to do. Judges definitely care when litigants aren't doing what the judge tells them to do. And so after excuse 4, we got a court order that told the guy he had to actually show up, and he had to pay all of our attorney's fees, so it didn't impact our client too much. We finally got his deposition taken.